how can I tell this story in a way that isn't commercial? How can I capture someone's thoughts visually is basically my entire thought process when going into any shoot, regardless of the industry, regardless of the client. How can I make them see themselves visually? Because sometimes you feel like you just can't quite say exactly what you're feeling or exactly what you're visioning.
Yeah. All right, guys. Just got to Fuel Fortress here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to shoot some promotional content with the sample that we just designed for them. This is pre-release stuff, so hopefully we'll get to hanging around, show everybody what it actually looks like on body, not just whenever it's hanging up. So maybe it'll sell better.
What's going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is Zayne Montague. For those of you who saw the last video, we're going to be doing a similar breakdown today for the shoot we did for an up-and-coming startup gym company. To give a little bit of background, me and my team, we traveled out to Nashville, Tennessee, where one of our members is based. We ran the Nashville Marathon that weekend. We also pretty much just hung out, had a good time, went boating, and then the other thing on the docket was shooting a campaign and shooting merch that we designed and product for the startup company that we're working with. Now, this was a test shoot, so not a lot was planned. We did do pre-production very slightly. Could put the shot list here just for a very basic millinote. We went into the shoot with a pretty open mind. Something I wanted to break down today in particular was how we did our merchandise for them. So I'll just have it pop up on screen here. We did what products we wanted to pursue and what kind of design language we wanted to implement. And they had a pretty good feedback. Overall, they decided they wanted to do one tee for their grand opening, just as the delivery one. And they liked the big front hit of the text on the front. And then I came up with some Renaissance art on the back. I didn't come up with it, but I came up with the textures, and then I also did the placement for their logo on top of the Renaissance art. I don't remember the exact name of the pose. For those of you who do, educate me and put it in the comments. But so yeah, pretty straightforward. We found a manufacturer in China, and the quality was relatively good. It was around 250 GSM. I think it was something like 80% polyester, 20% cotton. I might be reversing it. But yeah, they were pretty happy with it. We're still in production for that because it took a while to get it processed, but we're getting that over to them. We wanted to, pretty much while we were there, because the gym is based in Nashville, we were like, hey, why don't we come in, shoot the merch, shoot some video, and just have a good time. Finally put a face to the name for the people we've been talking to for months. So it was an overall super fun experience. So we arrived at the gym day one. This was gonna be a 2-day shoot. And we wanted to kind of just get as much B-roll as physically possible while we were there. So we were looking at, a frame in a frame, or leading lines from the dumbbells, or lifting, just simple lifting with different contrasts, trying to find different focal points to add depth. Because my goal in shooting was to not really shoot short form, although it can be clipped into short form. The goal was to create a 5 to 10 minute mini documentary for an introduction to the co-owners who started this particular location. Knowing these people, they aren't super comfortable on camera, so a huge thing that I wanted to kind of touch on today was
It's a dress!
developing that rapport with your client before shoving the camera in their face. So when we started shooting, I initially was just holding the camera at a very unobvious angle. I wasn't like zooming in like my eye in the viewfinder just staring at them. I was like, so how did you start the gym? It wasn't anything like that. It was, how can I make this as low key as possible to where they're not gonna notice me even filming? So day one went really well. We got quite a bit of B-roll, and it was gonna be the majority of the documentary. The guy we were shooting that day was supposed to come in second day for his documentary / interview portion, and he had something come up, so we could only shoot one of the owners. After day one wrapped, we moved into day two. Mind you, we had to wake up at 6 a.m. to run a marathon, and then after the marathon, we went straight to that location and shot. We're shooting for Fuel Fortress. So I was post-marathon dying inside. Hadn't really eaten anything all day. Felt a little motion sick, and I was just surviving at that point. But I knew I really wanted to get this footage to show them that, we're someone who follows through. So it meant more to me that I get the footage than calling in sick. We aren't really in Nashville too often, so the opportunity was there and I tried to take it. Day two, however, was mainly focused on getting as much interview portion as possible so I can overlay the audios with the B-roll. And we started off, as I mentioned previously, with just holding the camera at a very unobvious angle, trying to make genuine conversation with the people we're talking to.
But you got to pair up, do whatever drills we're gonna do.
This was our first time meeting them in person, so we wanted to kind of just get to know them, feel them, and just try to develop a very basic foundation to a relationship. And that's exactly what we
Get it remotely because they're Italian and they never worked out in their life.
After that, we moved into some more lifting B-roll content just for the actual documentary itself so I could overlay it. After we shot some of the B-roll, we shot the co-owner himself and his wife. We asked them very basic questions. I think we had a list of like 5 to 10 questions.
We didn't open until February 25th of 2026.
Very basic foundation questions that can kind of lead into other stories. You don't always want to like force, what were sales like in Q1? You don't really want to force that. You kind of want to just give them a leading question that's easy to answer and they feel comfortable and confident answering it. So then that way it can kind of segue into other topics around the company. So as far as product photography, we didn't have a lot planned. I only had external flash that's like one of those cheap TT Godox flashes. I didn't have an entire external flash or a strobe. And so we did the best we could. I'll put some of the selects on the screen to show you. It was just kind of, we didn't have any models, we didn't have any budget. All we had was the product and our team with us. So we got as many photos as we could. We tried to make it look relatively presentable. And I think they came out okay. Obviously we can do a lot better. I'll show you a mood board on screen of what I want to move towards for delivery 2. We also have a lot of designs that we're implementing that I can't show you quite yet, but we are gonna go all out for delivery 2 if all goes to plan. And we're really trying to build a brand for them. It's not so much marketing as like, come join this gym. It's more so, this is a gym that's different than other gyms and it's more of a club and it's more of a community that people can become a part of. We wanted that to kind of come to display in the design. Kind of going through a couple different edit phases of what direction I exactly want to take it in for the final post. Now, I want to hear your guys' feedback on this edit so far, based on everything I've told you and laid out in this video. So without further ado, here is the video that we shot.
We're sick and tired of doing the 9 to 5, like working for people all the time. Like, we're just gonna do that till we die. If you ever saw this place before, you wouldn't even believe it looks like this. A lot of moments when we thought we were quit. But Matt is very smart about building. He's very good about using his skills to be able to make something that looks like crap and turn it into something beautiful, and he did it. I'm Sam Campagna, co-owner of Fuel Fortress in Nashville. I guess you could say my dad thought I was nuts mostly. Thought I was nuts to try to go in business for myself just because he's been in businesses before and it can be real hard and he knew it was a lot of work, but it ended up working out. Parents don't get it remotely because they're Italian and they never worked out in their life. Friends thought it was a really cool idea because a lot of my friends are, lifting or some sort of active stuff they've done either in the past or now. But overall, supportive. I met Matt at Nashville MMA. We trained mixed martial arts together. And his wife was the teacher at the time. Matt was in the class or whatever, and I had never talked to this guy in my life. Anyway, we ended up training through the class or whatever. Don't talk much. Next Thursday night, see him again. Anyway, we just got to hanging out or whatever. He wanted to get back into lifting. He hadn't lifted for a while. He's kind of out of shape, blah, blah, blah. So I was working out at Crunch at the time, and we were just sitting there talking. We both had some money burning in our accounts. Like, we're sick and tired of doing the 9 to 5, like working for people all the time. Like, we're just gonna do that till we die. But we both just kind of looked at each other and didn't really want to do that. And then Herc, who's the guy who started Fuel Fortress, also used to train at Nashville MMA. And so he was like, hey, I know Herc from Nashville MMA, let's sit down and talk to him. I'm like, all right, we'll sit down and talk to him, go visit his gym. It looks similar to this, beautiful gym. We're like, all right, like I see this. I see where this can go. I don't know yet here, to be honest with you. It changes
it was so busy, just like all day.
Yeah.
Started this with my buddy Matt and his wife Taryn. October-ish of 2024, I think is about when we started messing around with it. We didn't open until February 25th of 2026, and we're about to have our grand opening soon.
Yeah, after wrapping up, we were just borderline exhausted and headed back to the homie's crib. Next day, we went to the boat. If you guys are curious to see that entire video, go click on POV. We made it out the group chat. I posted it about a little less than a week ago. But my overall ethos going into any shoot for me is capturing emotion, is capturing like raw feelings, and how can I tell this story in a way that isn't commercial? How can I capture someone's thoughts visually is basically my entire thought process when going into any shoot, regardless of the industry, regardless of the client. How can I make them see themselves visually and everything they're trying to explain visually? Because sometimes you feel like you just can't quite say exactly what you're feeling or exactly what you're visioning. So I kind of want to just be that person that bridges the gap for people who are like, I know what I want and I know what I want my brand to look like, but I just can't seem to put it on paper. I can't seem to like have an obvious answer to that. And so that's what me and the team pretty much came in and are trying to develop for them. We have a lot planned, and I'm excited to show you guys everything we're doing. Feel free to comment any feedback in the comments, and make sure to like, subscribe. It helps me continue doing what I'm doing and growing the channel. And yeah, if you guys did like this type of content, please let me know. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next one.